This is Joseph Levy on February 6th doing the interview of Alan Tolmas, regarding his association with the Dallas Hebrew Loan Association. And now we're going to go and start with Alan. And the first thing I'm going to start with is, are you a native Dallasite?
I am not officially a native Dallasite, but I've been coming to Dallas since I was probably 2 years old, because my mother was born and raised here in Dallas. So we spent our summer vacations coming to Dallas. So, as I said, not officially, but kind of almost all my entire life I've been coming to Dallas. I actually moved here in 1978. I had been working for my grandfather's company, which was based in Dallas, but they had a satellite office in Atlanta. So I had worked for the Atlanta office and then came to Dallas in '78 and have been here ever since.
And where did you come from?
Well, I was born and raised in New Orleans. I lived in Atlanta for 2 years before I came to Dallas.
So in '78, when you came here, you had already established yourself with business with the family and graduated college?
Actually, I had not graduated college yet. I wound up going to college at the Dallas Community College here for a couple of years, and then went back to college at UTD, University of Texas, Dallas, when it was a 2-year college, to get what I needed for a bachelor's degree, which was in business with a major in accounting, or a concentration, I should say, in accounting. And then I went to work in public accounting and wound up getting a master's degree from North Texas University.
Now, you mentioned your mother's family was from here. Are they still, when you moved here, were you still had family here and still have family today?
My grandfather had died when I came here. My grandmother was still alive. She died, gosh, about a dozen years later, she died. And I do have extended family here. My mother had several first cousins, so I've got several second cousins here in Dallas still.
Now, before you got involved with the Dallas Hebrew Free Loan Association, which is what we're going to discuss, is what did you do before then here in Dallas for other organizations before you got into this?
Well, I've got to think back a few years. I think that the first organization that I got involved with was probably the Federation, and that was probably in the, I'm going to guess, the late 80s, and I was on I think it was the Regional Allocation Committee. I got involved in what was at the time Hillel of North Texas. I was involved with some synagogues. I was on the board at Beth Torah when we joined Beth Torah. We went to Tiferet Israel after a few years, and I was on the board there as well. And both places I was the treasurer, having an accounting background. And I'm trying to think what other things I've been involved in. The Jewish Children's Regional Service is based in New Orleans, but they serve people here in Texas along with 6 other states, including Louisiana. So when I was on the Regional Planning Allocation Committee, I wound up becoming familiar with them. I had not been familiar with them in New Orleans, but I wound up getting involved with them because they do good things in my eyes, and I still am involved with them. Trying to think what other organizations I have been involved with. Of course, with you, I was involved with Rotary Club, not necessarily a Jewish organization. I was involved with an offshoot organization from the Girl Scouts, and I can't think of any other Jewish organizations that I've been involved with at this moment.
Well, you were involved, from what I've read, regarding the yeshiva over on Frankfurt. Tell me a little bit of that before we go into the loan association.
Okay, I wound up becoming familiar with the yeshiva there because the synagogue that I've been going to, Ohev Shalom, they're kind of affiliated. The founder, Rabbi Roden of the synagogue, also was the founder of the yeshiva, so I formed relationships and learned Judaic studies with a couple of the rabbis over there, and gave some financial support, and they decided at one point to honor my wife and myself, probably 4 or 5 years ago. I haven't been terribly involved with the yeshiva, but it's a good organization. They have good students, and they have good men coming out of there when they're graduated.
Now we'll get into the Dallas Hebrew Free Loan Association. It's a mouthful for me. And what is your connection with the group at this time?
At this time, I am the president. I just became president at the beginning of January of this year, 2025. And I've been involved with the Dallas Hebrew Free Loan Association for about 4 years. My original touch with them was probably a dozen or more years ago when Carol Woolenow did an appeal for the Dallas Hebrew Free Loan Association, specifically the Angel program. Their Angel loans would serve as guarantors for borrowers. Borrowers for most loan programs need 2 guarantors, so this Angel program serves as one and eliminates the need for them to find a second guarantor. Then fast forward to about 4 years ago, I was looking for an organization to help needy people bury their loved ones, because to get buried in a Jewish cemetery here in Dallas is extraordinarily expensive. And they were receptive to the program that I wanted to start there. So they implemented the Jewish Burial Loan Program. And I guess I should also at this time say that I started another organization that I'm involved with, the Dallas Jewish Burial Fund. But they work together, the loan and the burial fund work together to help people who need assistance in burying their loved ones.
Now, were you sought out on your own, or did somebody prompt you to join the organization?
No, I sought out on my own. Somebody had recommended to me that I contact them. I had contacted a couple of organizations here to see if they had any interest in helping with this, and they didn't at that time, but the Dallas Hebrew Free Loan Association did. So I jumped at that opportunity and knew what they did, and had started becoming more religious, and really loved the fact that what the Hebrew Loan Association does is like the highest form of charity that we can do, according to Rambam, Maimonides, to loan people, make loans to people who need loans is the highest of the 8 levels of charity, tzedakah.
Now, before you became president, did you have other positions on the board to work your way up to president?
I did. First I
Tell
was a member of the board. Then I became, and I joined the finance committee. Then I became the chair. Well, actually, I joined both the loan committee and the finance committee. And the next year, I became the chair of the loan committee. And the following year, I was loan of the finance committee. And then there's this year, which I'm now the president.
And what do you find most rewarding doing this work for the Loan Association?
Well, it's rewarding to be able to be a part of this organization to begin with. It's great people. Jane Larkin, the executive director, is amazing. The board members are wonderful. If I was to pinpoint an activity that is the most rewarding, it is interviewing people, because the board members interview the applicants. And when I interview people and hear their stories and we grant a loan to them and we see the relief that we're giving them, that is absolutely the most rewarding for me, and I think for most board members.
Is there anything else you'd like us to know about the DHFLA?
I will just be brief here because somebody else is going to be talking about this, but there are now 11 loan programs that we offer. I won't go through them all right now, but they all are tailored to fit a specific need in the community. And I just request people to give as much support as they possibly can to the Dallas Hebrew Free Loan Association. You won't regret it.
I think